life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Welcome to Around the Turnbuckle. I'm Big Al. That's my boy, Chris Vant from South Carolina. What's up, my man?
Doing good. How are you, brother?
We're doing great. And as Keith and I have told you many times, and anybody that watches this show knows, you're probably the most commenting person who watches, and we appreciate that. And we also love when you ask the wrestlers questions because it really keeps the conversation moving. So any wrestler that's been on here, on behalf of them, I want to thank you for that too. Meantime, conspicuous by his absence, and everybody's going to ask me where the hell the professor is. The professor is working, and he's not sure if he's not going to be able to, not work on Sunday. So we'll address that we'll cross that bridge when we get there and see what happens with the future of Around the Turnbuckle as far as the professor is concerned. But we got Chris here tonight, and tonight we're going to talk about John Cena. His last match happening this past Saturday at Saturday's main event in Washington, the state capital, not the state, and the nation's capital, not the state of Washington. It was in Washington, D.C. And there was a lot of celebrities there. There was a lot of wrestlers there. A lot of legends were there. A lot of people were there to support him. I thought it was nice to see. I watched the entire event in its entirety. I was supposed to be down in SWO, and I had plumbing problems. My wife also was working, and we had a house full of kids, so I just couldn't make the show. So the professor went down there without me, and I heard it was a pretty decent show, other than one of the wrestlers down there, Chris, got injured in a ladder match. They had a ladder match called the King of the Castle ladder match with 5 wrestlers, and one of those wrestlers was the Daredevil, Sean Rollins. He's been on this show, and he's one of SWO's best and rising stars in SWO, and I wish you nothing but a speedy recovery, my friend. I heard he's still in the hospital, still nursing his wounds, but he actually did. He was doing a move off the ladder where he was going to jump down onto a pile of people on the outside of the ring. They don't call him the Daredevil for nothing. And the Daredevil hit his head first on the floor at the SWO show. So it was a tense moment for the fans. It was a tense moment for the locker room, but they all pulled together, I heard. And I heard Sean's going to be okay. But at the same time, man, we wish you a speedy recovery because I know you're hurting this morning or this evening, Sean. And I hope you watch this, and I hope you know that we always have cared about you. Speedy recovery, my friend. The Thundercat is here. Big Al, what's up, Thundercat? Good to see him here. John Cena match was good, he thought. We'll talk about it in a second. He realized that getting out into the sleeper that many times, he had no choice but to tap, and a lot of people don't like it. But in the end, it was John Cena's decision to go out that way, and better to pass the torch in the end. Now, Chris, what do you think of that comment? You and I talked about this a little bit today. Like, what do you think about that comment that the Thundercat made, where it was John Cena's decision to go out that way and pass the torch?
I mean, I guess it was that's Gunther's move. So for him to go out that way and pass the torch to Gunther, I understand. But John Cena is the never give up.
Right.
So I would understand if he was any other position that he would be pinned in other than that, I would have respected. But
Right.
for him to go out like that with a smile on his face, I think was kind of planned.
Or even if he's in a sleeper hold, what if he passed out? Couldn't continue.
Yeah.
You ring the bell. A sleeper hold is supposed to knock the guy out.
Maybe 4 or 5 power bombs and this, and this, maybe, and he gets pinned that way, but I don't know.
The match itself was okay, Greg. You say it was good. It was okay to me. It wasn't like a 5-star match, or as David Meltzer would rank it or whatever. It wasn't, to me, it wasn't like the greatest match I've ever seen in my life, where you put it up there with, Flair and Steamboat and Undertaker and Shawn Michaels or whatever. So, or Brett and Stone Cold. But like the match was what it was, right? You have a 38-year-old guy and you have a 49 going on 50-year-old guy. And so it is what it is. They did what they could do. And that's Gunther's style, is that old school stuff. It's grappling, it's power bombs, it's submission holds, it's chops, right?
Right.
Those are the things that he does. That's it. You're not gonna, to me, but I respect his style. I like the style of wrestling that he does. However, I think that is Gunther, like, Gunther's 38. Yes, he's in his prime. Yes, he's one of their top guys. But Triple H loves Gunther. That's the bottom line there. He loves Gunther. He has from the beginning, when he was in NXT, when he was Walter, and he was in NXT UK. He was their champion, this totally undefeated guy. Then he comes up to the main roster, and if you guys remember, he didn't lose for a while. I mean, he was Goldberg for a while, where he didn't lose nothing forever. He was pushed to the freaking moon. Then he was the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time, right? Remember that? That wasn't that long ago. Then he got hurt, goes away, comes back. And as soon as I knew he was in that tournament, I told everybody. I told people on this show. I told Keith. I told everybody I talked to wrestling about that he's winning the John Cena tournament. He's going to be the last man. He's going to be the last match for John Cena. And I didn't like it because I knew he'd lose. In other words, John Cena. Knew John Cena was going to lose as soon as Gunther was in the tournament. And then not only was he going to lose, but when he cut the promo on, I believe it was SmackDown last week, where he said, "You're Mr. Never Give Up. I'm going to make you give up." I knew he was going to tap right there and then. You just gave the ending away to me.
But what
I
was on the social media like a month before where he leaked out that he was going to win the tournament? It was leaked out a long time ago. He leaked it out that he said he was going to win it. You remember seeing that?
Yes. Yes. So I understand. I'm trying to look at it at both sides. I understand Cena fans' reaction. I understand the fans in Washington booing Triple H. Totally understand it. Those people, especially, they paid hundreds of dollars
Thousands.
to some
Thousands.
in some cases, yes, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying, in the majority of them paid hundreds of dollars to see his last match, to be in the building. Even the reactions, they're showing the reactions of like CM Punk and Bailey at ringside, because maybe they knew he was going to lose, maybe they didn't. Maybe they didn't tell them the finish. And to see him tap out, the looks on their faces, Lillian Garcia was like, "What?" Like, I've seen all these clips today of CM Punk and Bailey and Lillian Garcia and Trish Stratus and Mark Henry and Kurt Angle at ringside with their reactions to it. They were in shock, as everybody else was. Not that he lost, but the way he lost.
The way he
With a
lost, yeah.
smile on his face going, because he wanted to go out by putting somebody over. If Professor was here, he would be saying that he did the right thing and they did the right thing. Whether you like Gunther or not, going out and pushing somebody on the way out is the way to go. However, like you just said, the way they did it, it was the way they did it. And I don't know if Cena did that, the smile, or was that planned, or did he do it on purpose because he really didn't want to tap, but he did? Like, there's so much gray area there, right?
Yeah. I mean,
So,
I think he wanted to go out, but
yeah.
for me to go out against a Gunther, I wanted him to go out with a Randy Orton or a Brock Lesnar or somebody he faced his whole career that was the nemesis for him. I
Well,
mean,
let's talk
Gunther,
about
I
his
understand.
career.
Yeah,
He wrestled those people during this final stretch, though. He wrestled Orton. He wrestled Brock Lesnar. He wrestled Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental title. Then he won it. Then he got it back, or
and he lost
Dom
it.
got
Yeah.
it back. Like, I understand, and you're not the only one that wanted him to face one of his legendary, like, opponents, like The Rock, maybe, which would have been far fetched. But I'm just saying, like
Right.
The Rock. I'm just picking a name because that's a guy that he did have a rivalry with at one time. That would have drawn, yes, but people still were gonna tune in because it was his last match. It didn't matter who he wrestled, and that's where Triple H's mind hit. And it's not just Triple H; he's not the only guy that makes the decisions. There's Nick Khan. There's a whole committee. He has a big booking committee. If anybody's seen Unreal, you see them all sitting at a table trying to figure out who's going over. Like they were having a conversation about who was going to win the Royal Rumble. Triple H wanted CM Punk to win last 2025 Royal Rumble. He didn't win
Right.
it. Who won it? Jey Uso. Remember that? And the last two guys in the ring were Jey Uso and John Cena. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
And
it's
John
not
Cena
just
was
I
trying
can't
to
just use
push him by losing. He was
right.
letting, it was like handing over the reins to him, and I thought he would be the next big thing. You
And
know,
it's not just John Cena, man. It's not. I understand though some wrestling fans and promoters I've been reading about this all day, watching some football and reading online about how people feel about this because I knew I was going to do a show tonight. I knew I was going to talk about this. I wanted to feel how people feel. The majority of the people that are out there, anybody that posts on social media, anybody that's a TikTok or a YouTube influencer, anybody like that, they're all pretty much leaning your way where they were upset at the finish. But there are some of those people who are in the business. Either they're wrestlers or they're promoters or they've been around the business for a while, saying that not only was it the right thing to do, but people shouldn't be upset by that because um, you know, John Cena did probably have a say in that finish. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, of course, yeah,
And so if John Cena wanted to win that match bad enough, if he's like, dude, this is my last match, I don't want to lose. If he said those words, do you really think WWE or TKO or Endeavor or any of these people in charge would have said, fuck you, John, you're losing? No. Mm-mm.
but do you think there's still a possibility that he might show up at
He's
anything,
gonna.
maybe
This ain't the
WrestleMania
last
or
time you. Triple
yeah,
H said it in the post show. I watched the post show. This ain't the last time we're seeing John Cena ever. This is the last in ring
in
match.
ring? Yes,
He's gonna. I mean, Undertaker even showed up on NXT a few months ago. You remember that?
yeah.
And that guy's been retired for a few years now. So that's my point. So I mean,
He's still
it is.
there to promote wrestling, regardless if he's
He
in the
will
ring or
be a
not.
part of it.
Yeah,
Now he's
yes,
a movie star that can come back once in a while and be a part of it, like The Rock,
right.
where he can come back once in a while. And remember, you and I talked about this. What about when he lost the match, but then the two current champions, CM Punk and Cody Rhodes, handed the man the titles, said you're the real champion, and just kind of let him have his moment. 2005, 20 years ago, Hulk Hogan did the same thing
Yep.
with Batista and John Cena. John Cena was the WWE champ, Batista was the world champ, and they handed the titles to Hogan on his last WWE match, which, by the way, he lost just like John Cena. And nobody freaking went berserk back then. I mean, I know the internet wasn't as crazy as it is now, but still, 20 years ago, Hulk Hogan did the same thing. Why is John Cena different? Why is John Cena? John Cena is one of the biggest stars of all time. A lot of people consider him the GOAT. When you have that conversation with Mount Rushmore, it's hard to keep him off of it, even if you don't want to. And then he say, oh, well, 17 world championships, but, that means he lost the title 17 times also. And, oh, and by the way, 17 world championships, he didn't win anything. It's staged, it's professional wrestling. You have to be the top of the game. You have to have the confidence in the company to put that strap on you and to carry the company. When you have that strap on, you seriously have to be respected not only in the locker room, but management, but talent as well too, to carry that load to be the champion. So
Yeah.
be doing it 17 times is insane. His resume, two Royal Rumble winners. He had the Intercontinental title. He had the U.S. title several times. He was four-time tag team champion. And you and I talked about this before the show. You weren't exactly sure where he came from. I know
Yeah.
that he wrestled for OVW, which was Ohio Valley Wrestling, which still exists, but it's not a contributor to WWE anymore. And Ohio Valley Wrestling, he came in with, get this, Batista, Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton. Those people were all on the OVW roster in the early 2000s. Just think about
That's
that for a
crazy.
second.
Yeah. It's
And
crazy
then
to
in
think
two,
about.
And then in 2002, we see Orton kind of join Evolution with Orton and Batista and Triple H and Ric Flair. Evolution. John Cena comes in and he slaps Kurt Angle in the face because Kurt Angle says, what quality do you possess
Yeah.
to that thinks you could hang with the greatest, the best that there is?" And he said ruthless aggression, slapped him in the face. We didn't know what we had at that time.
Yeah.
Neither did Vince. He was the prototype. But he goes in the back, gets respect from the Undertaker. Dude, that's fuck. I mean, talk about a start to a career.
That's awesome.
It's unbelievable. Let me get some of these
Yeah.
comments in. Jen, I read it could be a metaphor separating himself from John Cena, the character, to John Cena, the regular man. I don't disagree with that. It's possible. I've read that too, where his wrestling career is over. He's not a wrestler anymore, so he doesn't have to pretend anymore. So that's why he smiled when he tapped, right? That's why he tapped out, right? But if you think about it, these guys going out, they don't think of themselves. They want to push others. And I get that it's disappointing, but in the end, it's Al Snow's show, OVW. Yes, Al Snow does it now. I've got a few friends who wrestle there, yes. But OVW used to be run by Jim Cornette. And he gave us Randy Orton, John Cena, Batista, Brock Lesnar, CM Punk went through there too. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy how much talent. But then that was before there was NXT. Then there was Florida Championship Wrestling, and then that became NXT. So that's what we have now. Triple H has this farm league where he's got NXT developing talent, right? And then he's got the independent WWE ID, Evolve, and all that, and the LFG show sending people to NXT, and it's like a farm league trying to
Yeah.
get the build up talent for the future because these guys are getting old. Cody, CM Punk, they're all old. Roman, even Gunther's 38. Like all these guys, all his top stars are in their 40s. They need to start developing talent. And to me, all I've seen so far that they've really pushed is like Braun Breaker and Obafemi, which I mean, it's a start. You know what I mean?
I
But I mean,
mean, the
yeah,
Cody Rhodes match there, that was a push for NXT for this superstar to come up and be a big name. I see him jumping up pretty quick getting into WWE. I
yeah,
mean,
he'll
that
be there.
was,
He'll be there
yeah,
soon, and that's what Cena wanted. Cena wanted. He said, "Listen, people, it's going to be a jam-packed house. There's going to be millions watching at home on Peacock and NBC. This is a platform to show what we have in the future." So Saul Ruka comes up, beats Bailey, shows you what she can do. She's a future talent. She's a future WWE Women's Champion. They have a lot of faith in her. Obafemi's a future not I don't want to say Hall of Famer, but a future main event guy.
yeah.
All right, shows what he can do against Cody. Doesn't gonna have him beat Cody because you have Drew McIntyre come through. Okay, you don't want a clean finish. That's fine, right? That tag team match, which people didn't even really think about, was freaking awesome in my book. You got to see that if you didn't see it, Chris. It was AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. They're the tag team champions, but it wasn't for the titles against Javon Evans and Leon. from TNA. What was his last name? Anyway, it was Javon and Leon. Those two guys, phenomenal. It's the TNA X Division champion. Somebody will correct me there.
Yeah, I'll have to watch the replay on that. But
But
is
yeah,
is
that
this
that
like
tag team match was even my wife got into that tag team match. It was crazy. Hope Jacob Fatu returns or faces Ilya when he returns. Yes, Ilya Dragunov. I agree, Daniel. Absolutely. Jacob Fatu's biggest problem is he keeps getting hurt. And he's like every time they start to push him, he gets hurt. And then they're like, "Oh, well, we got to pump the brakes on that." So then he comes back, slow build, slow build, slow build, and then he gets hurt. I mean, I think he'd be right up there for championship matches against Cody and or Punk if he was healthy. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
but Dragunov keeps having these open challenges. When is it gonna somebody gonna take the title from him? He keeps
He
having these
hasn't been
John
doing
Cena open
okay, but
challenges.
he wasn't doing it that long though.
It's like 3 weeks now, right? The open challenges. He's trying to do what John Cena did with the open challenges.
You like Maxine Dupree, Daniel, huh? Leon Slater, thank you, Daniel. It was Javon Evans and Leon Slater in a tag match against the tag champions, and that was off the hook. AJ and Dragon Lee won, and I love AJ Styles. Now we got to deal with that because 2026 is his last year.
His last year, yes.
So they're doing that, yeah. And I think, and I had heard that AJ Styles was thinking about retiring this year, but with John Cena doing what he's doing, he just said, okay, I can go one more year. Yes, see, Jen watched it. That tag match was awesome. You got to watch it, Chris. Just go and just watch that one match. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee versus Javon Evans and Leon Slater. It was really good.
Yeah.
Sad that Drew has inherited the role of Kevin Owens as the constant repeat challenger. Yeah, that's another guy that needs to come back. Kevin Owens. He was there. He was at ringside last
Yep,
night.
he was at ringside last night. Yeah.
So I mean, you know, I get your frustration. All right, and I'm speaking to the people who I've kind of commented on some of your posts today, and you know who you are. I get your frustration. I'm with you on the fact I didn't want him to lose. I knew he was gonna, but he didn't have to tap out the way he did. And you know, Keith even said to me earlier, Professor. The professor even said to me earlier in a text message. He said that he thinks that John Cena screwed that up, like did that, and it might be true what Jen said about the one. You know, she read somewhere that it was you know, it was a metaphor for that he was going separating himself from John Cena the wrestler, John Cena the man. I can buy that. I can totally buy that, but at the same time, it really pissed a lot of people off.
Yeah. Yeah, it did.
But what did I say to the people? I don't want to name names. I'm not gonna. But what did I say to you people who are mad? Don't watch tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Don't tune in to Netflix. Give them
Yeah,
a message. If they're getting a million or two, somewhere between a million and a half viewers every week on Monday Night Raw, if half of you don't watch tomorrow night, that's a message. That's a message right there. But why are you going to tune in? Because you love wrestling. Why are Chris and I sitting here talking about it? Because we love wrestling.
of wrestling.
Oh, last week on this show, I did announce that the SWO Tag Team Champions, the Outfielders, were going to be here as my guests tonight. They are ill, and so they are rescheduling. I don't know if I can get them next week. It's too close to Christmas, and I'm not exactly sure if we're going to have another show this year because next week is pretty close to Christmas, and then the following week after that is close to New Year. So I don't know. Just stay tuned to the Around the Turnbuckle Facebook page for information, or the Around the Turnbuckle group, or even my Facebook, which if you're not friends with me by now, it's Alan Amy, AlanAmey, and send me a message. Send me a direct message if you want to be a guest. ALAMAMEY, Roman numeral 2. Don't message my father. He does have a Facebook page. I was mad last night, and I joined in the cussing of Triple H. But I understand passing the torch. Yes, and I mean that's the thing, Jen. That's the thing is fans are mad, but they understand it. And so Triple H is hoping that after time, it's not going to be as big a deal. It's kind of like what Keith said last week on this show. He said, how many people still bitch and moan about the streak getting ended by Brock Lesnar? We were mad then, but we got over it. I mean, it is what it is now. Same thing this a couple years from now, maybe it'll take longer. I say 1 year or 2 year, but maybe 5 years from now. Are we going to be talking about the guy that beat John Cena? No. Or the guy that made him tap? No. Let's see if Gunther does the same thing on his way out. That's what I want to know. When Gunther's done, does he let somebody
And
make him tap out? I don't know.
I mean, I love it, but I hate it. I hate that all the superstars that were in the WWE lose their final match, whether it was Flair or whether it was Shawn Michaels or whether it was I'm just trying to think of everybody. It's hard to believe that you want to go out on top and they always find a way for you to lose your final match. Kurt Angle, final match, lost. I mean,
Hulk Hogan.
Hulk
Almost
Hogan, same
everybody
way.
that had their last WWE match, because even after that, like Sting lost his last WWE match, but in AEW, he won his last match, and he actually won the tag team titles with Darby Allin, which makes absolutely no sense if he's never going to wrestle again, and they build it as Sting's last match. Why would he win? Because then you have a problem. Well, does Darby need a new partner, or do they just vacate the titles and put them up for grabs for somebody? That's the difference between AEW booking and WWE booking.
Right.
Every legend on his way out, it most for the most part, 99% of the time loses on his way out. It's just it's going to happen. You just know it. The Rock, same thing. You just know it. You know what I mean? It's just become a thing now. So you act surprised. You know what they're making him, Chris? And see if you're and tell me I'm wrong if I'm wrong. They're making him the modern day Randy Orton. A little late in life, 38. But remember when Randy Orton was
Right.
the legend killer? What
Yeah.
happened this year with Gunther? He retired Bill Goldberg. Now he
Exactly.
retired John Cena. So who's next? I don't know. Roman or Brock Lesnar? Whatever. Is Brock Lesnar going to retire soon? Because if he is, maybe Gunther beats him on the way out. Maybe he becomes the current legend killer.
It could be, but passing the torch to a guy who's already accomplished something
What's up, Mr. Ping?
is, I don't understand passing the torch to somebody who was already the champion for a long period of time. I expected him to pass the torch to an up and comer, to a younger wrestler, and make him
Demolition.
better. You know,
Yes. Like Carmelo Hayes. I know a lot of people wanted Carmelo Hayes to beat him
yeah,
because he's young and upcoming. I get it. But would you have believed if he beat him? I mean, he would have had to what? Beat him in a small package or something?
yeah. I mean, it was just hard to think that he was going to face Gunther in his final match.
I
Gunther's
agree.
been there. Gunther's been there a while. He's held the championship, but he wanted to
I
hand it
can
to an up and comer.
I can make a
So
case. Kevin Gunther is 38, by the way. I can make a case that Gunther once Gunther that match was made, a lot of people thought Cena was going to win because Gunther's not a young guy.
yeah,
So I could make the case to say, okay, if you're not going to put a young NXT talent in against him for his final match, so he could put somebody over that deserves it, like I'm just going to pick Obafemi.
yeah,
What if Obafemi was his last match? Then, if he beats John Cena, okay, strap the rocket ship to him and let's go. But since Gunther's as old as he is, that's where I can make the case where people might have thought, oh, well, since it's Gunther, maybe Cena's going to win his last match. You know what I mean?
all right,
Because Gunther didn't need it. If they put Gunther in a world heavyweight title match on Raw tomorrow night, I'm just saying that. I'm not saying it's happening. I'm saying if they did that, None of you are going to be mad. You're not going to say, well, what did he do to deserve that? He didn't deserve that. You know what I'm saying? My point is, he doesn't need this push.
Right.
He doesn't need to be the guy that retired John Cena. He doesn't need to be the guy that made him tap. But now he's going to come out on Raw tomorrow night, get booed out of the building, and then they're going to, and he's going to get on the mic and he's going to say, I told you, didn't I tell you? I told you the guy that says, I'd never give up, gave up, didn't he? And that's just going to get more heat. So,
Okay, but what is next? What does Gunther face next? Where does he go from here?
I hope
Do they
he's out
push him
there running
against
his.
CM Punk? Do
I
they
hope
push him
he's out
against
there running his
Cody?
mouth, and I hope he's out there running his mouth, and Jacob Fatu comes out. That's what I hope. Gunther needs to also set his sights on AJ Styles and Chris Jericho when he returns. Well,
Mm.
I think that Jericho's return is going to happen at the Royal Rumble. That's my opinion. He's going to be a surprise entrant in the
I
Royal
think so
Rumble.
too. But I don't think he's going to last very long.
And right, he's not. He's
Uh,
55. We're
yeah,
gonna we're gonna cross that
yeah.
bridge when we get there. Everybody's excited about Chris Jericho coming back, but at the same time, Chris Jericho is just gonna come back just so that he can retire there, get in the Hall of Fame, maybe give us another, I don't know, 2 or 3 matches, if that. I don't think he's got a lot left in him. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope he gets like a Legends contract where he wrestles like 3 or 4 times a year, whatever. But you know, I think he'll be at the Royal Rumble. That's when you'll see him. And as far as AJ Styles goes, man, I love AJ Styles. I love AJ Styles, and I hate that he's retiring, but I knew it has to come. David Motorman, what's up, my friend? Greetings, guys. A good card overall, no problem with putting over Gunther, but would have preferred a pass out. Number one, Cena's gig is never surrender, and number two, the tap out just didn't look natural. Right, he smiled. I agree, Dave. That's what we've been talking about all night. Cena was smiling when he tapped out. Correct. The heel needs the heat from the crowd. Listen, we keep all saying the same stuff, man. But tomorrow night on Raw, when Gunther comes out, because that's what'll happen, he'll be the first guy out. When Gunther comes out tomorrow night on Raw, he'll get booed for a solid 5 minutes, at least.
But how do you feel about the Triple H booze and the attendance problems and all
Ah,
this that they got? You know, I mean, he's really feeling the heat right now.
the fans have convinced themselves that Triple H is the end all be all when it comes to decision making and booking in WWE. He is creative content officer. He is CCO. TKO lets him run WWE as he see fit, but he has a committee. He doesn't book who goes over. He has people talking to me as Bruce Pritchard and a crew of like 5 or 6 other guys that all sit around and they all talk about it and they get information. And even The Rock sometimes chimes in. They all talk about it. What's best for Gunther? What's best for Cena? What's best for the future? Like all these things are discussed. So it's not just Triple H. But that being said, Nick Khan and all those other people that I just talked about that aren't Triple H weren't there in the front of the people on the post game show to get booed or didn't jump up on the apron to hug Cena and laugh about it. Triple H did that because he's like, okay, they really hate me right now. Yes. You
Yeah.
know, when Triple H comes out and, Triple H has come out and been cheered and cheered and cheered and cheered, and he never turned into the heel guy running the show like Vince McMahon. And the reason why is because while things are good, while people are buying tickets and people are still spending money on WWE and it's in the plus or whatever, he's not going to change things. And he wants the leaders, in other words, he wants like the management, the guy who everybody seems to think is in charge, to be just like one of the fans and try to give the fans what you want. Now, The question is that because he got booed so much on Saturday, is he going to use that now? Because is he going to be the bad guy? You know what I'm saying? Because he has general managers of Raw and SmackDown, and pretty much those guys are faces, right? They're not evil people. They're not, usually they're pretty fair with their decision making about matches, blah, blah, blah. But Vince McMahon used the Montreal screw job. Like, okay, they're gonna hate me. Well, now they're gonna really hate me because I'm gonna take their best guy and I'm gonna make his life miserable. And that was Austin versus McMahon, one of the best rivalries ever, right?
Yeah.
Now, Triple H can't wrestle anymore. That's the one caveat here. That's the one problem is that Triple H can't wrestle anymore. He's got a bad heart. So they can spin this one way or another. I don't know what they're gonna do, but you know damn well that the next time he comes out, the next few times he comes out to any arena, he's going to get booed.
Yeah.
Now, he can nip it
That's
all in the
true.
bud or he can use it. I mean, but it's not just Triple H. Fans need to realize that Triple H is not the only guy. He's not the end all be all that makes these decisions. John Cena had a say in who his opponent was and how the finish went. And until you accept that, you can hate all you want. Just stop watching then.
Yeah. So what do you think they're going to set up for, like, the
I
Royal
agree, Dan.
Rumble coming up?
So the Royal Rumble's in Saudi Arabia,
Yeah. What
which
do
I'm
you
not
think? I
happy. I'm not
mean,
happy about, dude, because that's the one event that I have never. I've been to SummerSlam, Survivor Series, and I've been to 4 WrestleManias, Raw, SmackDown. I've been to AEW events. I've been to WCW events back in the day. I have never been to a Royal Rumble. I've always come close, or like one year a few years ago when Roman won it, it was in Philadelphia, but I've never been to a Royal Rumble. And if they're going to start having Royal Rumbles overseas, I'm never going to get to go to a Royal
yeah.
Rumble. But this
Yeah.
year I can't see anybody else winning that Royal Rumble but Braun Breaker. I
I
can't.
think they're going to push him. I think they're going to try to push him as much as they can. I mean, he's the name now. He's young. It's who else do they have? Who are the up and comers from either NXT or AEW to come in? I mean, he's a well known name now, and they're really pushing him. So, who would he challenge for the title, though? Are you going CM Punk, or are you going Cody
Well,
with
he's
him?
already wrestling CM Punk for the title on January the 5th.
So, what is that like? What's the
It's
live
a
event?
it's a live event. I want to say it's a Saturday night's main event, but I could be wrong.
Okay,
It's just January 5th. It's CM Punk versus Braun Breaker for the title. It's
okay,
not the Royal Rumble though. So I mean, Braun could beat him, and they could have a rematch at the Royal Rumble, or you know what I mean. Then that throws a monkey wrench in everything because to me, or you can have CM Punk win the Royal Rumble and have Braun versus CM Punk at Mania. So Braun
right.
beats him on the 5th, keeps it until Mania, and then it's CM Punk versus Braun for the title at Mania. Something like that. Or maybe you could have Roman versus Braun at Mania. Maybe Roman wins the Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I have that feeling they want to bring Roman back into this
Yeah.
to possibly become a champion again.
Well, because he
I
mentioned it.
mean,
He mentioned it. That title looks better on my shoulder than yours. And
exactly. Yes.
Punk said, who you talking about, him or me? And he's like, I'll let you guys figure that out.
Yeah.
To be honest, I feel that they set up Vince up after they saw the direction WWE's heading. Yeah, I mean it's possible. You can say that if you want. Um, that's that's not my opinion, but it's an opinion. I get it. Um, I half expected Vince to show up at Saturday Night's main event. I did. I thought about it. With everything going on, I get that. I get why they didn't have him do it, but it kind of would have been cool to see him like in a box somewhere or something. I think he would have got a pop. Saudi will buy WWE from TKO. Maybe. I,
Yeah.
I hope, Daniel, I hope you're
Yep.
wrong, but
Yeah,
dude,
it's a possibility.
I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be. They already have the Riyadh season like logo in the middle of the ring.
Yeah, I like that there's certain events over there, but there's too much.
Yes,
Now
that's
everything is,
January the 5th.
yeah, everything is out of the country no more, and that just I don't like that no more. I don't like that you have all these live events in Saudi Arabia and this, and this. No, it's just too much.
All right, take
I
Saudi
mean,
Arabia out of the equation. If it's in Europe, though, those fans are crazy.
yes, they do. They did previously. They had one or two over there, but when you have
Australia,
these main events, they belong in the United States.
especially
This is
Mania,
yes,
especially WrestleMania,
yes,
and
without
WrestleMania
a
this
doubt.
year's in and WrestleMania this year's in Vegas, but next year it's in Saudi Arabia.
Wasn't it in Vegas last year too?
Yeah, but they
Yeah,
Vegas outbid. It was going to go to New Orleans,
right,
and Vegas outbid New Orleans to bring it back to Vegas because it brings money from all people from all over the world come into Mania.
right.
It's a 2 day event, but it's longer than that. It's a week. So people, the hotels are all booked up, the casinos are busy. Like it brings life. Not that Vegas needs that injection of life, but when WWE's in town for an entire week, it brings in people from all over the
Yeah,
world.
yeah,
So I get it, but at the same time, I wish, like you said, I wish that WrestleMania would stay in America
yeah.
because to start having WrestleManias overseas, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think there ever has been one, right? To my knowledge,
No, I don't think
WrestleMania,
so.
yeah, WrestleMania's never been outside of America. So, um, that's the thing, man. It's time honored traditions. It's all that stuff, man. But you know, but before we get out of here, dude, let's go back to Cena one more time, and I want to know what was your most memorable Cena match or moment that you can recall.
Hmm. Oh man, there's so many of them, but like that. It just came up like on my Facebook the other day when
Me too,
he had
Daniel.
that match and then he met the Undertaker and you're meeting the Undertaker. That was a moment that I knew right away this guy was going to be something. When the Undertaker shook his hand and said, he
Good
said,
job,
I
kid.
think he said, I'm John Cena.
No,
Yeah.
he said, "Good job,
Then I
kid."
knew, yeah, good job, kid. And it's like you're talking to the Undertaker, the guy that's done everything. And for
And at
him
the
to come
time,
in,
he
I
was
knew,
WWE champ.
yeah, I
At the
knew he
time,
was going to become a superstar after that. John Cena matches, everyone. I love John Cena. I loved every match he was in, whether he lost or he won. I mean, you know me, I'm a big Hulk Hogan fan. I didn't care if Hulk Hogan lost or if he won. Anytime he came to the ring, it set me off. Just that music, once that music hit, and it's just like John Cena. If he was to win or lose, when that music hit and he came into the ring, that just set your heart beating, man. It was like it's something
so
you
he
don't get to really experience from these other wrestlers. I mean, other wrestlers come in with their theme songs and stuff like that, but when like Stone Cold hit or Cena's hit, you're like, boom, and it just immediately gets you excited. You know?
so when he wrestled JBL for the United States Championship at WrestleMania 20. That was at Madison Square Garden. That was like the
I
rocket ship
remember that
strap.
match.
That was the rocket ship
Yep.
strapped on his back, I think. That's when he,
Yeah.
overcome those odds. I'm sorry, not JBL, the Big Show.
Yeah.
He wrestled the Big Show for the United States title and he won his first he was Doctor of Thugonomics then. He was still doing that gimmick and he was
Yeah.
that was the rocket ship, I think. His return from an injury early at the Royal Rumble, and Triple H is in the ring and his music hits. And that was also, I think, at Madison Square Garden when the Royal Rumble and his music hits, and you hear like JR and you hear the King Jerry Lawler go what
Yeah.
at the top of his lungs. Yeah, man,
Yeah.
that was a moment. The
Yeah.
time I don't remember I think the match was at WrestleMania, but he had a triple threat match with Big Show and Edge, and he had both of them up on his shoulders. And what he was trying to do was give an attitude adjustment to both of them at the same time, but Edge kind of slipped off. That was something else.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean,
Countless stuff, dude. You're right. Undertaker. The match with The Rock at Mania 29, the one that Rock won, I thought was better than the one where John Cena came back, or 28, where John Cena came
yeah,
back
they
and beat
went
him the
back and
following
forth.
year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Rock won
But
one
the
year
first
and then Cena won the next. Yeah.
time that they met, I thought that match was better than the one that he won. Right. Here we go, Jen. My favorite moment is one said all time. 2008 Royal Rumble return. Yeah, and my 8-year-old watches that one all the time because he loves Cena and because of our love for Cena. Yes, that was a good one where he walks out, you can't see him. He's got his head down and he looks up. The pop, the goosebump. I get goosebumps just talking about that. John Cena versus Umaga pay-per-view match. Yeah.
Oh, when he took Umaga and put him up over and did that. Oh, yeah, that was awesome.
Umaga was freaking awesome.
Yes.
JBL
Yeah.
versus Cena in an I Quit match was wicked. Thank you, Nico. What's up, Nico? How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. I hope all is well. Eddie Guerrero also brought out the best of Cena and Batista, yes. I mean, you can go on and on and on, man. We could argue about that all night long, but I just wanted to know you personally, what you thought here. I'll tell you one thing.
For me, every time in defeat was not a bother for him. It was a respect that, okay, I lost. And there was, some other wrestlers that lost and they go crazy or berserk after certain matches because they lost. It was respect every time he lost. Okay, I lost. I wasn't good enough
Right.
tonight. Tonight
Yep.
it wasn't good enough and I lost.
Exactly.
So
Dude,
I love the respect
Cena
for him.
Cena versus Rob Van Dam at One Night
Oh
Stand
man, that was crazy.
at the Hammerstein Ballroom. I remember this
Yes,
too.
that
There
was
was signs
awesome.
all over. If Cena
Yeah,
wins, we riot.
yeah,
It was
that was
all
awesome.
EC. It was all ECW fans, and it was like the ECW's top guy, Rob Van Dam. And who was that? Who was front row on Saturday?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Rob Van Dam was front row on Saturday because he respects the man that put him over that night for the championship. Again,
Yep.
there, people talk about greatest of all time, but he wasn't afraid to put anybody over. He put Miz over at WrestleMania, dude.
Yeah,
WrestleMania, Miz versus John Cena for the title. Everybody in the world thought Cena was just going to win another championship, and Miz beat him.
yep.
That's proof right there. Hulk Hogan wouldn't do that. Bret
Mm.
Hart barely did that. Shawn Michaels, they had their guard up. They didn't really want to lose. And Stone Cold, he was another one that didn't want to lose that often. John Cena was
Yeah,
willing to lose, but, you know, he gained the respect of fans, the locker rooms, the media. Goes into the movies, man. I think he's better in. I mean, I know people like him in the DC movies and stuff like that, but I like him in comedies more myself. Like when he's in a comedy. Like, have you ever seen Ricky Stenicki? You never,
I think
dude.
so.
Look that up. Please look that up. There's a
Oh,
movie that John Cena's in called Ricky Stenicki,
oh,
and
okay.
it's like him and Zach Efron, I think, and a couple other guys. It's freaking hilarious.
Yeah,
You will die of laughter. I swear to God. Basically, the premise is Ricky Stenicki's like a, a performer in Vegas, and they made this guy up their whole lives to their wives so that they can go and do things without their wives. So they made up this guy. Oh, Ricky Stenicki's sick. We got to go see him at the hospital. Or Ricky Stenicki's doing this. We got to go see. They made this guy up. So in order to cover up that story, they hired John Cena, who's an actor, to play Ricky Stenicki in real life. And you just got to see it. I'm just telling you, you got to
I'll have
freaking
to
watch
check
it.
it out. Yeah,
You will freaking die laughing. I don't know if it's on Netflix or what? Yeah, really funny movie. See that? Cena is awesome in that. I like him better in comedies or cock blockers. You ever see cock blockers?
Cock blockers a lot. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hogan buried Rick Rude, Mr. Perfect, Bret Hart. Exactly, Daniel. Exactly. That was my point. I love Hogan. Trust me. But there were so many people that came up through that could have had it. Mr. Perfect could have been champion. He was one of the best wrestlers of all time that didn't have the
Yeah.
WWE title.
Yeah.
I think it was on Amazon. There you go. I think it's on Amazon Prime. Ricky Stenicki. I'm not making that. You think I'm making that up, Chris? You're looking at me funny. Ricky
Yeah.
Stenicki is a real
But I
movie
will
starring
check it
John
out. I'll
Cena.
check it out. Well, I'm going to say at the
Neat.
moment where, how we grew up. I mean, I love John Cena. I loved everything he'd done. But Hulk Hogan to me will always be the ultimate. I mean, the greatest of all time because that's who I grew up with. I
I know.
love John Cena and what he did, but for
And
Hulk
that's
Hogan
our
did for wrestling,
generation, dude. But like these
yes.
guys who are in
Yeah.
their 20s and 30s, that they grew up with Cena.
Yeah. I mean, I love
Cena,
what Cena did too. And I love the respect that he took in defeat or whether he won and the ring,
Cena heel
just
turn
the
was the
way he
biggest
came
shock
to
of
the ring.
2025. Cena heel turn was the biggest shock of 2025. Never thought it would happen and let him loose on the promos, but you could see he wanted to connect with kids and Cena merchandise. Yeah. I thought the heel turn was not necessary, really. I think it was something
Yeah,
that
I
he's
didn't
always
like it.
wanted to. I think it was something that he always wanted to try to do. And listen, he did it well, but at the same time, I don't think it was necessary for this final run. But some people liked it, some people didn't. The Rock put Triple H over, and
Here's the thing.
Angle, and Lesnar, and Stone Cold. Yes,
Here's the thing I don't like what Triple H did, and it's not with just for Randy Orton, what he did to Cena, having them come back and lose these consecutive matches for years. They put them on the biggest stage to lose, to lose, to lose, to lose, to lose over
yes.
and over. And then all of a sudden, okay, now we're just going to have you win the championship again. But for Cena, for like 4 years in a row, he was in the primetime matches, all the main events, and you would have him lose. That's what I don't understand. He was your superstar at one time. You bring him back in these matches just to lose. I mean,
Right.
that's got to hurt as being John Cena. I'm just going to come back to lose. How do you feel about that? You're coming back every match to be in a superstar match, but you know you're going to lose. You're told that you're going to lose.
I don't know, man, but we're out of time either way. I want to thank each and every one of you that chimed in, Daniel, and you guys, especially Jen. Thank you very much for chiming in with your comments and questions about the final match of John Cena. It's in the history books now, as they say. If you're that upset about it, I strongly suggest you don't tune in to Raw because Gunther's going to be coming out there first.
Yep. So yeah.
But other than that, man, Around the Turnbuckle will be back next week at 7 p.m. on Sunday. Follow us on Facebook at Around the Turnbuckle. Follow us on Instagram at the same. Follow us join the Around the Turnbuckle Facebook group to share your promotions and subscribe to the Around the Turnbuckle YouTube channel for more content, and also check out some of our older interviews. We've interviewed anybody from who's been 5 minutes into the business to Hall of Famers such as Stevie Ray from Harlem Heat. That actually took place 5 years ago last week. That was December of 2020.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
20, yeah, December of 2020.
Great
during
show.
the pandemic, we got to talk to Stevie Ray. So check that out, and check out all our interviews with the independent professional wrestlers. I'll have an update next week about the professor and what's going on with that, and I will also hopefully have the outfielders sometime soon, as they were supposed to be on tonight. In the meantime, uh you can't see us anymore, Chris.
You can't see me.
I love it, man. All right, for Chris and the absent professor, I am Big Al. This was Around the Turnbuckle, and we'll see y'all Next time.
You think you know me?
Calculations are correct. When this baby hits